We got a brand new interview in the PlayStation magazine with Darby, the narrative director on Assassin's Creed Valhalla, that includes a ton of new details, including how there should be quite a number of jaw-dropping moments that also set up things for the game that follows after Valhalla. We got some new art, some more gameplay specific info like climbable runes, side quest structure, and way more. So a like on the video would be super appreciated, and let's go. There is still time to enter my May giveaway for a 2020 game of your choice on your platform of choice. All you need to do is follow the link in the pinned comment for a chance to win. You have to be a subscriber as well of the channel before you enter. And good luck! I will announce the winner in early June and reach out to the winner via the email. The Assassin's Creed lore should be seeded in the world of Valhalla for us to discover at our own pace. And overall, we of course know that Eivor learns about the Hidden Ones and the Order of Ancients conflict early in the game, likely in Norway. And we now know that he specifically meets an assassin, so one person of the Hidden Ones that will likely give him then the Hidden Blade. And Darby actually calls the Hidden Blade the Conspicuous Blade because it's of course not hidden, and that has to do with the Norse culture, as we were already speculating before, that you should be upfront about the fact that you killed someone in battle, so they put the blade on top, so it felt that Eivor wasn't being shady. Overall, Darby talks multiple times about not wanting a wasted moment in this game for players, for the side missions that I want to touch on in a second, but also every narrative discovery, that it kind of has a grand purpose. Really, like, it just tickles you if you are an Assassin's Creed fan. Hopefully there's quite a number of moments where your jaw drops because you are like, oh whoa, that connects to that, okay, that is cool. And I think one of those jaw-dropping moments will likely be uncovering how both male and female Eivor are canon. Darby already noted that this is the case, but how they of course managed it is going to be interesting and a mystery until we play the game. Sudarshan on Twitter said that he looked online and Eivor seems to be exclusively a female name, to which Darby responds, "There's a reason for everything, my friend. You will have to play to see." And I saw a lot of theories already in the input@JorRaptor.com email inbox. And of course, if you got some awesome theories or found some interesting things, totally reach out via that email address. Valhalla should be a bridge between the Hidden Ones and the Order of the Ancients, as set up in Origins and Odyssey, and the Templars and the Assassins as we know them in later games. There's of course a huge gap between Origins and the first Assassin's Creed in terms of timeline, so extra details and info on what happened in between that time is of course very interesting and more than welcome. But Darby also says that some things that are happening are starting to set the stage for what comes in the game that follows. And I'm still fascinated by who will be making this next game after Valhalla, because Ubisoft Quebec, the studio behind Syndicate and Odyssey, is likely not going to do it because they are hard at work on Gods and Monsters that has to launch before April 2021. And actually they have also a team helping with Valhalla. I totally want to dive into this topic again later when there is some more clarity, because I don't think that Ubisoft would go 3 years without a new game. So it has to be a different team than the team that is now working on Valhalla. But yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go back to the Viking game for now. We namely got more reason to believe that the game will launch in mid-October, because Amazon Australia put an October 13th date on the deluxe edition of the Art of Assassin's Creed, as we see in this tweet from Anthony. So that is a Tuesday, and that could be the early access date that we talked about in a previous video for gold editions and up, that Ubisoft did for many of their recent games. And it only makes sense that the art would release on the first day that the game is available. And we, by the way, got a look at one of the artworks that we can expect in that book, that should, by the way, have 208 pages in total. And the artwork looks awesome, and this is the first time that we see Eivor on a horse, and I really like the large settlements on top of the mountains here. I really can't wait to see more of England. And we of course saw Stonehenge already in the brief teaser trailer. We can climb it and also uncover secrets of the ancient people who built it, according to Darby. We discussed before how this could be one of the Izu vaults that was teased in Origins. So maybe that is what he is hinting at. And overall we should expect many Roman ruins in the game because the Britannic and the Celtic tribes did not have the knowledge on how to maintain these Roman buildings 400 years ago, so they all fell in ruin. But now during the time of the game, the Saxons are using these ruins and trying to make the best out of it. And we might even meet lost tribes in the world that are still worshipping England's pagan gods. Although we should explore to find them, Darby says. And overall, when out in the world, we will be meeting a lot of characters that have side missions for us. No big surprise there, right? But Darby now teases that these quests could spiral into an epic saga, where in Origins most of the side missions were just standalone little stories. We have these great stories in our game, multiple part stories that really feel like they have a rise and fall, just like a proper Shakespeare play. And then Darby is referring to the 5-act structure that we see right here, and this structure was also used in Assassin's Creed Odyssey for many of the side content, including the Lost Tales of Greece missions. So this overall means that the missions should be more memorable and also have more of an emotional impact. The PlayStation Magazine continues how we will feel more invested in the problems of the NPCs in Valhalla, and that many quest givers will also remain in the world and could even join our settlement. Darby does not like fetch quests where you are asked to gather items for a character that then vanishes, so we should not expect something like that in Valhalla. We should instead meet characters that are more memorable than that, and likely some of them can join our raiding party and come hang out on our boat. We namely now learned that over time, unique raiders will join who have a personality that persists even after you put them on your ship. In Odyssey, they were just a nice cosmetic extra, like it was cool to see the Hades Lieutenant on my ship, for example, but nothing more. Well, in Valhalla, we should actually hear more about them, so they will likely talk with us on our ship. We now, by the way, also learned that on our longboat, we have a map to scan for places to raid or trade. And the PlayStation Magazine talks about 2 approaches to exploration from our settlement. So basically 2 big activities you can do if you leave your home base. So you can either go out raiding and then bring back resources to help grow your settlement, so then new people will show up and even give you new services. And there is, by the way, a specific narrative reason why we picked the spot for our settlement. So we come from Norway to England and choose a spot for some sort of story reason. And we know, of course, that the settlement will not move, so we'll stay in a set location. We also now know that growing our settlement is going to be a continuous storyline that overlaps with everything else, because as our settlement grows, you have to deal with growing pains and make tough decisions. Although we don't know any examples of that yet. So again, from your settlement you have 2 activities. One is go out raiding and the other one is choose to go and make friends and forge alliances. Since you are in enemy territory, it is smart to become allies with neighboring territory, for example. And during these missions we can of course make choices. And an example of a choice that we can have is that Eivor can tell that a person is lying, and then you can choose to either confront that person immediately or play along with the lie and then see where the story takes you. And we likely also have choices when talking to Alfred the Great. I would imagine that we meet this King of Wessex, an antagonist to the Vikings, but his role in this game should be even bigger than I first thought. Because the personal journey of this famous king is namely at the heart of the story of this game. And I speculated about his clothes in a previous video about how the Templar icon could already be here. Some pointed out that it could of course also be the icon of Wessex. Yeah, that totally makes sense, but I still would not be surprised if somehow he is also part of the Assassin-Templar conflict. We also learned some extra details about our raven, Sunin, namely that when we use this bird, the UI has been reduced compared to the previous games, so discovering secrets will be a little more instinctive and rewarding and likely less hand-holdy as we saw in Odyssey and Origins. And of course, subscribe if you are new for everything on Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I got some other cool videos coming your way very soon. so keep it locked for that. A like on the video would be nice, and totally check out my weekly Assassin's Creed Valhalla podcast, the Assassin's Cast, on any podcast service that you are using. You can also find a link to it in the video description. I also put a link to the article from the PlayStation magazine in the video description, so you can check that out as well. And totally check out my previous video by clicking on the screen with things you likely missed from the trailers. For now though, I will speak to you next time, and goodbye.